3 to 4 years ago, Twitch streamers never ever ran ads. Ever. Every once in a great while, you would end up having a streamer that would run one, but in the last 3 years, things have changed dramatically. Now, instead of only seeing one ad, maybe, at the beginning of a stream, you now end up seeing not only ads during the middle of streams, like in between rounds of gameplay, but you're also seeing them just constantly, almost as if it's approaching TV levels. So the question is, why? I got the answer for you. And that's what we're going to talk about. Okay? Okay. Hi everybody, my name is Onepeg. I'm a full-time content creator on Twitch and on YouTube. I make videos like this all the time, so if you would consider possibly subscribing to the channel, if you end up digging my content, that would be great. Maybe even come and check me out on Twitch, where I stream just about every single day, starting at 6 to 7 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Before we get into exactly what's been going on with Twitch, I want to first explain how ad revenue works. See, in videos like this one, there are ads that play, sometimes before a video begins, and that's called a pre-roll. On YouTube, if there's a video that's longer than 8 minutes long, which this video is going to be, you end up having ads that pop up in the middle of a video. Those are referred to as mid-rolls, and they look an awful lot like this. Okay, yeah, that was a debate, but assuming that you guys are still here, this is how it works. For every 1,000 people that end up viewing one of these ads, we are paid a small amount of money. That is what's known as cost per mil, or CPM. That's basically how all ad revenue for videos like this and Twitch streams are paid. How many 1,000 sets of eyeballs watched this particular ad on average, and then for that, how much money are we paying for it? Now, those rates get negotiated in a lot of different ways, but most commonly it's done by YouTube, in the case of YouTube, and whatever advertiser is looking to do those ads. With YouTube, there's a little bit more flexibility. Certain content creators have the ability to kind of group up and join like these negotiating pools, which have the ability to negotiate certain ad revenue rates. Sometimes that's a good thing, sometimes it's not. But YouTube, historically, has always paid better. YouTube has a few different ways that they end up doling out ads. Twitch seems to be much more along the lines of just like play a video ad and whatever. In the case of YouTube, the rates that guys like me are paid is somewhere usually around $10 to $14 per 1,000 views. In my case, we then end up making about half of that money. So in any given day, any given moment, for every 1,000 views, I usually make about $5 to $6, which means a video like this one, let's say if it got 10,000 views, would end up earning me about $100, give or take. Twitch, $3.50. It's been $3.50 forever, until incredibly recently, which I will get into in a second. So what's been going on with Twitch? About 3 or 4 years ago, Twitch didn't really have anybody playing ads. And then Disguised Toast ended up doing a video on YouTube that talked about how streamers of his size and larger end up making the amount of money that they do. It ended up being a big eye-opening moment for an awful lot of content creators, and they saw how much money very large creators were able to make by running advertisements. Now, obviously, this is all done to scale, so someone that is much smaller isn't going to see nearly as much money. It ends up being a pittance, really, in comparison. But suffice to say, let's say you averaged about 100 to 150 viewers. If you streamed 200 hours a month, you ended up making somewhere around 150 to 200 bucks in ad revenue. Sure, it would buy a couple of pizzas every couple of weeks, but that would be about it. And for that reason, an awful lot of content creators, even partnered ones, never really bothered running ads. But there was a problem. See, because once Twitch Prime started phasing out, at least in terms of all of its benefits, that's when the ad revenue revolution of Twitch started really beginning. A few years ago, you used to be able to watch your favorite streamer. If you had Twitch Prime, every streamer on the platform was ad-free for you if you had Twitch Prime. Those Twitch Prime subs from Amazon Prime are still a thing that everybody can do. We end up getting about 50% of a Prime sub worth of money. It's still worth about $5. So from that, we make $2.50 or $3, somewhere around there. In the case of Twitch Prime, though, they phased out the ability to have ad-free viewing on all of those channels. Instead, still now, you only get ad-free viewing on channels that you're subscribed to, and that's only if the person that's doing the streaming has the radio button checked, although I think just about every single content creator does. So as long as you're a subscriber of a content creator, you never end up seeing ads, for the most part. But for those that don't, That's when this really starts coming into effect. See, I think Twitch ended up doing a lot of background checking and realized there's an awful lot of people that are watching Twitch streams that don't bother subscribing to anyone. They sit through the ads that end up playing. Once Twitch Prime phased out, there were pre-roll ads that would begin every time that you would join somebody's stream. You would end up having a 30 to 45-second advertisement that would play at the beginning. Unless you owned Twitch Turbo, which is a $10 a month subscription that you pay directly to Twitch in order to have ad-free viewing across the board, which I would recommend, especially if you watch a lot of different streams. It ends up being a very valuable thing. I've had it for years. It's great. It's been well worth the money. But for the people that didn't have Twitch Turbo and weren't subscribing to other people's channels, Twitch ended up realizing that there's an awful lot of money to be made from those people. But what about all of the streamers that were never running ads? Well, now you got pre-rolls. So those people that were coming in, getting pre-roll ads, if you're somebody that gets pre-roll ads or you don't like ads to begin with, you tend to not stick around. You get that ad wall and you end up looking elsewhere. I'll just go watch the streamer that I'm subbed to. I don't have ads there. So the question got asked, if I want to grow the size of my stream, how do I disable pre-roll ads? See, guys in the streaming space, we all work in eyeballs. We broker attention. That's what we want. We want your attention. The more views, the more people that hang out in streams, lurkers or otherwise, lurkers being the unsung heroes of every Twitch stream, a group of lurkers have immense buying power. For every view that we get in addition, we get that much incrementally bigger. That ends up making the content creator more valuable to marketers. Marketers that want us to be able to recommend products. Marketers that are willing to pay us to recommend those products. And Twitch sees this. The viewership statistics, that's who they want to advertise to. But we, as community developers, don't want ads pushing people away from us. We're trying to attract more attention. Ads push people away. So how do we fix that? Twitch said, well, we're not going to let you turn them off, but what you could do is disable them for a little while. Run 3 minutes of ads every hour, and that disables pre-rolls. You no longer have to deal with that. So people like me that said, well, I'm trying to grow my audience, I'll just turn them off. We ran 3 minutes of ads. In Escape from Tarkov, you have downtime in between rounds of gameplay. So you could just run an ad for 1.5 to 3 minutes in between those raid rounds. It ended up working out pretty well. But that wasn't enough for Twitch, because even now there are people that don't ever bother running ads. But they're probably going to start, because as time goes on, Twitch has tried to start dangling carrots in front of people's noses to see if they're going to try and take a bite. And when they bite, they get their hooks in you. The tool that they gave us to disable pre-roll ads basically worked like this. You pressed a button that would run an ad for 30 seconds up to 3 minutes with an 8-minute cooldown. So you would run 3 minutes, then you'd have to wait 8 minutes, and you could run another 3 minutes later on. And that seemed to work out fine. 3 minutes per hour, hit the button once in between like a big raid, whatever, and it panned. Take a break, right? Here's your break time. People would get up, go to the bathroom, streamer would get up and stretch. It ended up working out really well. But like I said, that wasn't enough. Enter the incentive program. Twitch decided what they would do to try and kind of dole out a little bit of extra ad revenue for people that might be willing to run it is to do this pilot program where stream for 100, 150, 200 hours, whatever your normal streaming schedule was, and we'll kick you a little bit of extra cash based on your past statistics. So if you're somebody like me that averaged, 100, 150 viewers, 200 viewers, something like that, it might not be that great. A minute of ads would be like $100. 2 minutes would be $125. And then like say 3 minutes of ads was $210, somewhere around there. Like I said, a couple of pizzas, but it doubled the amount of ad revenue that I was generating in a month. Now, instead of a 350 CPM, it was getting closer to $7. That's starting to broach on YouTube money. Not bad. So you're running 3 minutes of ads already, you take the bait. What they then did was a little bit sinister. Instead of the next month offering of 1, 2, or 3 minutes of ads, then it was 4 minutes, 5 minutes, and 6 minutes. And then 6 minutes, 7 minutes, and 8 minutes. There are content creators that are getting offers of 7, 8, and 9 minutes of ads per hour. I've seen them as high as 11 minutes of ads per hour as their ad incentive offer. For a lot of people, that's way too much. For the viewers, I would think that that is way too much. But the amount of money that they're dangling in front of your face for doing it, content creators that are averaging $1,500 to $2,000, I've seen ad incentive offers for somewhere around $7,000. That's not nothing. That's a lot of cash. And right now, for instance, I'm doing 7 minutes of ads an hour because they ended up going from $200 to $1,500 for the same amount of viewership, just because I ended up running double the ads. They're paying 3 times the amount of money of what I had been used to seeing. That's not nothing. Now we're talking remarkable amounts of income. But again, if you think that this is the end of the story, you're wrong. They took it a step further. To sweeten the pot even more, what they decided to do was this blog post where they said instead of the rates that they had been paying historically on top of the incentive program, now instead what they're going to do is negotiate all the rates that they're going to negotiate with their advertisers, and they're going to give the content creators 55% of that ad revenue. It ends up being a huge boost for people that have already been doing these ad programs. So where's the hook? It's on the affiliates. See, for all of the Twitch partners that are doing this on a full-time basis, it ends up making a minuscule percentage of the amount of viewers in total that are across all of Twitch. The affiliate program ends up making up the majority of the people that watch these streams. This 55% number that they're dangling in front of everybody's face, affiliates get that too, but only if they run 3 minutes of ads per hour. That's the hook. So now affiliates are being told to do this so that they can make this extra amount of cash. So if you're a 30 or a 50 person average streamer, wasn't really getting any ad revenue before, now you end up seeing 3 and 4 times that amount of money just because you ended up taking the dangling carrot. It's a paradigm shift. In the case of Amazon and Twitch, this is a pivot into an ad-based revenue system. They're looking at not only trying to monetize the largest streamers, but they're trying to monetize the entirety of the platform as a big blanket through all of the incentives that they can possibly come up with. The gamble here is that they're going to get so much more in ad plays that it will end up making up for the revenue change, thinking that they will get a net positive overall, making Twitch potentially profitable, which historically it seems it hasn't been doing a great job of. Now, whether or not this ends up pushing people off has yet to be seen. Personally, the people that I know that I'm close with that have been taking these larger contracts for even more ad minutes don't seem like they're suffering in viewership. They're still hovering around the same viewers that they have been all along. And I can say that's pretty true for me as well. Time will tell if this ends up being something that they really start leaning into even more, because as the United States ends up approaching and going into another recession, let's be honest, what it looks like is that ad revenue will end up being the primary way that people end up getting paid through Twitch, as opposed to relying on subscription revenue. Anyway, guys, that's what I have for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Peace.